Hey traders, welcome back for another episode. So trading the London session. Um, Already put in my first trade, very little trade, and made a $2 profit, right? But the main session is about to begin, so we want to dive in and take a look at that session. So you can already see that I've entered a trade. The reason why is I identified this as a demand zone, and our price has now entered into that demand zone. So I've put in a trade, a buy, so go long, a long trade, a buy trade, placing my stop just below the fractal low. And so if the price does break this point, we may want to, well, we'll be stopped out and may want to reverse and put in a short position. But the TP is placed up here, so you can see just below the supply zone that when the price entered that, this zone broke the market structure into the downside. So I'm at the moment, I'm on the GBP USD. Um, this is the 5 minute time frame. So I want to try and track this as quickly as I can. And of course, today's goal, as usual, is to try and make 20 pounds, which is about $28, $27 US. So as I said, I've already entered into this trade. What we want to do now is just monitor the trade and see whether or not we are successful, whether my TP will get hit. We can already see some push into the downside. My stop loss might get hit already. Wow, so quick. It's okay. I mean, this kind of happens. Of course, there's going to be a lot of volatility these days. The US stock market is doing pretty well. I haven't looked at the recent S&P 500 or Nasdaq 100, where how many points it's up by, but I do know it is up, which indicates that the US dollar may become stronger, and we will likely see more push into the downside. So I'm not shorting, I'm not going long on a big position. These are just micro positions, just to try and make a little bit of profit while the price figures out where it wants to go. But we are, oh, I'm seeing it's very close to my stop loss. So if the stop loss is hit, I'll reevaluate where the market, which position I want to go in, whether a long, a buy position or a short position, or whether I just not want to trade today. It could be highly volatile. But 4 minutes, and then we will see the London session start. Oh, stop loss just got hit. Ah, that's upsetting. It's very upsetting. But understandable. I get it. That's fine. So let me just try and reevaluate a little bit here. So I'm down now by what, $6? I think that's okay. So we got three touch points here, and I'm feeling confident to put in another long position just because of this. You can see here this kind of zone. What we want to do then is just wait and feel out which direction the market wants to go. Um, as I said, so this green line that I put here, this is the start of the session, the London session. So let me just wait and see where the market goes. And if it enters into this zone, and then we see that it breaks this fractal high, then we may want to do a long position into the upside. If it breaks this fractal low, then we may want to put in a short position. So we're seeing that it's struggling here to break these two low points. Hopefully it does. Then that will be a good confirmation that we want to enter into a short position. So let's just wait and see what happens when the London session opens. You also notice I'm trading while I'm eating my lunch. This is my lunchtime trading session. So for an hour, I'll just trade one of the sessions and record myself doing so. Trying to make a little bit of profit. Okay, so the London session just started. You can see we started with a green candle. which is great. A little annoying that I got stopped out just now, especially if this pushes up into the upside. Oh, annoying green. Also, by the way, this orange line, I think this is my 4 hourly. Is it my 4 hourly trend line? Could be my hourly actually. Take a look. Yes, I think it's my hourly. So it has broken that, which means this is a signal that we are entering into a bearish trend, um, going into a bearish market. Like I said, if we do break that fractal low, I want to try and target this area down here today. Whether it will hit my TP or not, I, you know, within the day, it might not. I'll just have to make sure that I keep a very tight stop loss, um, or a well-positioned stop loss, which I'll likely put above here. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes. Yeah, this always happens when I'm in a position and I get stopped out and it just reverses. It's just the way it is. But anyway, we can clearly see that it's not breaking this fractal low just yet. Um, so it's not breaking here. It seems to be bouncing off, which okay is a relatively good sign that this is a validated area of demand. When compared, you can see this 1, 2, 3, this triple bottom, which is also a bullish signaling pattern, which indicates that it should return to the upside. But overall, market structure is quite bearish. So I still want to wait a little bit here and take a look. Also, I mean, while we're waiting, we could take a look at how the open range breakout strategy might look. Hold on, this is that's number 8. So all we got to do is wait for another candle here, and then we just measure that range, and we'll take a look and see whether or not open range breakout strategy works. I won't put a trade in for it, but just wanted to give a general example. So if this was the 1, 2, 3, so we got 3 candles on the 5-minute time frame, you would mark out this as the low. Let me zoom in now. So you'd mark that out as the low, which is the support, and you'll mark this out as the high, you see? So, oh, now we've got our third candle. So 1, 2, 3, the highest, the lowest, you mark it out. Those would be your support and resistance levels. If a candle breaks above one of those support or resistance levels, that could be an indication to either go long or short. That's the idea of an op strategy. I'll take a look. I'll give it a. I'll draw out the patterns in a bit, and we can take a look and see how that works. Right now, I'm just waiting. I think what could happen is the price will go up to here, will return to around this level, collecting that liquidity before pushing into the downside. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. So closing below this line would be my confirmation that it is going to continue into the downside. I can put my stop loss above this previous fractal high. Um, and yeah, that would be the plan or the strategy for today. It's frustrating that we're seeing this going to the upside. But I did say that it's likely going to return up to this level. I don't think it will break. I think it would nearly break it. But once it returns to this level, I believe it will bounce and drop all the way down into the downside. That's what I'm hoping for. My reasons are because the stock market, I think, is doing pretty well over in the US. I'm not seeing any huge issues economically with America just yet. It could be wrong, but the unemployment rate was pretty good 4.1%. The farmer payroll, 175,000, I think. So they had a pretty good run. Also, the British pound has been, uh, I think, overinflated against the US dollar for quite some time. I mean, if we take a look at, if we return to the 4 hourly chart, you can see that there's just been so much growth with the British pound. With all of these touch points, you can see them. And I think this massive ascending wedge, which by the way, an ascending wedge, which is what we're seeing here, we got, you know, 1, 2, 3 touch points. This is all just one big ascending rectangle that signals a bearish chart pattern. So I'm hoping for a reversal, to see a reversal into this zone down here, which would be really good. That's what I believe. So yeah, I am looking for a short position on the micro trading for now. I am a little bit hesitant because yes, the British pound has done very, very well quite recently, but these days Forex trading is very news driven because of, you know, Trump's statements and instability. So, you know, a trade can go either way very quickly these days. Very, very quickly. How are we looking here? There we go. So, like I mentioned before, if we were to do an orb strategy, let me mark this out. One, and is that the lowest point? 1 on 1. Let me make this solid. It doesn't matter. Oh gosh, there's so many lines here. All right, I need to clean this up a little bit. Let me just delete this. Delete these lines out. I'll redraw them a bit later. But I already know what I'm waiting for, so that's fine. Ooh, look at that. So orb strategy is, you can see it's breaking above here. So I marked out a resistance line. Hold on, let me try and, hey, what the, oh, sometimes IG is pretty clunky and difficult to use. Right. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. Let me just clean this up a little bit. And delete. Right. This one I want to edit. Make it yellow so y'all can see better. And I would duplicate this and put it here. Okay, so this is what the orb strategy looks like. I'm not a professional with it by any stretch, so don't quote me on it. I'm still a beginner trader learning. Try and make this bigger. So what you can see right now is this green line is where the London session started. So we're now in the London session. The one, I'm on the 5 minute time frame. So you've got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So 1, 2, 3 equals 15 minutes. And what you do is you measure out the support, so the lowest low, which would be your support level, and the highest high, which would be your resistance within these 3 candles. So now you can see that this one candle is trying to break out, open range breakout, right? So it's trying to break out of this resistance line. What we want to do is, I think there's 2 things or 3 things. Like I said, I'm not a professional in orb, teaching people orb, but what you want to do is wait for this candle to close, body, hopefully the body. We don't want to see the wick. We want to see the body close. outside of this resistance line, and you may want to put in a long, fine, and try and just ride that wave up, or you want to wait for it to return to this level to test it. It's called retesting. So if it goes up and then it comes back down and it fails to break below, that is retesting, and that is your confirmation to go long. And that means when the price returns to this line, that's your indication you want to go long. And then you'd put your stop loss either um below the support line, or uh, below whatever the last candle. That's entirely your option, right? That's entirely your choice. So this is what it looks like. And I've been caught off guard a few times with this because I did try it before, and I was thinking, oh yeah, look at this candle, it's breaking out. This is a good signal. I'm gonna enter without without it closing above the resistance line or doing a retest. And I just failed every single time. I think I did a video on that. I think I did the op strategy video on a back test on a back testing account. I don't think it went very well. Um, but I like the idea. I think the idea is pretty good. Although I think it would work better on futures. I think futures might be better. Don't ask me why. I just feel as though it would be. Forex, it's just so. I mean, I was reading somewhere that um, it's over $1 trillion a day, I think, goes through Forex, or $30 trillion a day. I think it's a ridiculous number compared to futures trading, which would be, several billion. So I feel like there's a lot more volatility and a lot more movement um, based on, policies and politicians and uncertainty in the world. So it just moves so much, differently. I mean, if you like, you can see now the body's closed above, right? Maybe this is a good time to enter for a long position, and maybe I want to aim for up here into the supply zone. Could work, but if let's say a tweet came out of something detrimental, it just goes straight down. Um, based on very, very little information. Whereas I think futures, yeah, it is also sentiment based, but I feel as though there's a lot more structure there. Like, you know, supply is increasing year on year based on blah, blah, blah. You can read those fundamentals as something that, okay, the value will go up in the future, futures. Um, and I think a lot of people would read that also. And so when it breaks out of that resistance level, I feel like it's more validated, more truthful, more transparent than Forex. That's my take on it. Very long definition of saying nothing, but I'll try orb strategy one day. Ooh, maybe potentially today this is a pretty nice little setup. Look at this. I mean, if it came down and retested and it started to climb again, yeah, maybe. Why not? I can aim for this supply zone. Um, Also trying to find fair value gaps as well. I need to do a video on fair value gaps. They're pretty interesting. I think there's a lot of logic behind fair value gaps in Forex trading, I think. I think it works pretty well. A fair value gap is basically when you've seen something like this massive candle into the downside rapidly, very quickly, rapidly going into the downside. Um, the market needs time to average out or rebalance, and that would be your fair value gap. It will rebalance to that gap. Um, Usually you need three candles for it. So let's imagine this big candle. Let's imagine there's another candle here, another candle here, red candle. So the gap would be between the lowest part of here and the highest part of the third candle, and everything in between would be that gap, would be that. So the price usually would retrace back to that. Um, Again, I'll try and do a video on fair value and back test fair value gaps and um, IFBGs. Yeah. By the way, guys, if you're looking at this, orb strategy is clearly working. It's really frustrating when I don't do it. It works. Um, Very frustrating. You can see here, so you can see that it broke above that resistance line. It closed above it as well. Hopefully this candle will close as well above it, and it's just a confirmation. Like you would just I would should have just ridden this up into the upside. Um, you can see it's starting to retrace back into this zone, which is good for me. That means I want to look for a shorting position, a short position, based on that. That's a lot of momentum into the upside, huh? Let's go into the position. So the next 5-minute candle is about to appear. Let's see. Is it green or red? Could be white. There we go. Green. Look at that. Nice. Ah, no, it's red. Yeah. If you're doing an orb strategy, you'll likely want to do a 1 to 3 ratio, risk to reward ratio. So if I put down £5, I'd be expecting to try and get £15 back. Damn, I should have ridden the orb. Look at that. Not bad. I think when I wait and monitor the London session, the opening times, I'll do orb just to forward test it and see. It seems to be working here right now. But if I do this daily consecutively, does it work consecutively? That's what I mean. Um, if so, why not? Why not I ride it while I'm doing my supply and demand strategy as well? Don't think there's any issue with having two strategies. Not bad. I will likely get into Forex trading, futures trading eventually. I think futures is pretty interesting. I do want to enter that market and give it a go. And if I do, orb strategy would likely be my pick. I don't know if supply and demand strategy works so well in futures. I don't know. All the material that I've read and everything that I've been testing on is in Forex trading, not futures. But yeah, if I were to do something, it would be the orb strategy. Okay, it seems like we're beginning to see a bit of a reversal, which is good. This is what we want. So remember, here to this one, when the price entered into this zone, it failed to break that factual high, and it continued into the downside. So what I'm looking at now is to ensure that it doesn't break above here. If it is getting into, and if it does reach this supply zone, this is where I want to enter for a short. I know it looks like I should be entering in for long, but I'm looking for a short position at the moment. This is one of my micro trades. In that short position, hopefully I can ride it all the way down. Uh, I can write it down. Um, Maybe I can just do a trailing stop loss. Yesterday, when where's that? Yesterday, gosh, look at this massive, massive push into the downside. Yesterday entered into what? One of the positions here, and then I exited around here, and then but look, look what happened to the price. Oh, if I trailed that, that would have been a really nice profit. So I'll try and do a similar thing like that today. Hopefully we find a setup very similar to that and try and trail it. and hopefully we see a similar push into the downside as that happened yesterday with me trailing my stop loss. That would have been fantastic. Easily would have made about $200 yesterday on a really low margin account, by the way. This my account is incredibly low margin. Um, and that's fine. That's what I'm waiting for. Like I'm just trying to get to a point where I can have a very small drawdown, a good win rate, a strong strategy, and I'll likely end up applying to be a prop trader, become a funded trader, and just trade on a, don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand account. And then yeah, doing these videos, oof, huge returns. But I think one of the biggest points of this all is um, how much, how many times you can win. What's your percentage of winning, right? So it doesn't matter how much I earn, so long as I'm earning. And imagine if my lot sizes were 100 times what it is now. That means earning £10, would be £1,000 a day, which is, you know, insanely high. It's like £20,000 a month. Um, so just perfecting those win rates, trying to increase the win rates and increase your accuracy. That's what I want to do. And then become a prop trader. I put a stop. I don't know why, but IG just rejected my order. It's very strange and very frustrating. I'm getting very fed up with this platform. Um, Fantastic layout, great proprietary technology, but IG is just starting to get very clunky, annoying. Um, Definitely going to move to another platform soon. So I just tried to put in a sell order. It says my deal was rejected because I didn't have enough funds in my account, and that is because it put in a random order for me for some reason. Um, and then it rejected my order again, and then I and now it's saying my order has been like I don't understand what's going on there, right? Like I feel as though the tech is bugging out a lot. So, IG, very annoyed with your platform sometimes. Very annoyed. Okay, so I've entered a trade anyway, and so you can see I've entered a short position. I feel like this price point is going to be a reversal. That's what I'm hoping for, into the downside. Um, the reason why is because I don't think it's going to break these fractal highs, hence why I've put my stop above it. I drew this trend line just to kind of measure where it may end up going. So we may see the price enter into around here before seeing a full reversal. And hopefully we will hit a new lower low, right? So breaking this fractal low. What I will try and do today, if I end up in profit, then definitely want to trail my stop loss. And now the most annoying part is waiting for the trade to play out and the result for the day. Very frustrating and very boring to just wait. Okay, quite interesting. So like I said before, I thought, yeah, the price was going to enter into this area. I expected it to enter into the red zone, which would be our supply zone, before then pushing into the downside. So this is really good. If we were doing the orb strategy, this would be our chance to retest. So what am I? I'm on the 5 minute time frame. So what we want to do is monitor whether or not this candle um, closes below that previous resistance line. And if it does, then okay, we may want to exit that trade and re-enter into a short position. Um, or if it doesn't, then that would be a confirmation that you want to enter into a long position. So we can actually see it's really pushing down at the moment. Where's my TP? Okay, so this is where we're aiming for. Hopefully the downside continues, continued downside into that TP. Or at least I would try and trail it. So if we do break that fractal low, I will bring my stop. I will bring my stop down, um, down to try and minimize my risk, maximize my profit throughout the day. So right now I'm at $12 profit, which is good. It's fantastic. That's where we want to be. You can see there. It's like 10 pounds. So what's that? Times 1.310. So it's about, yeah, $14, $15 I'm at the moment profit, which is pretty nice. It's good. It's a nice little profit at the moment. But still halfway to our TP. That's where we want to where we want to get to. That 20 pounds. So again, more waiting. Just have to keep waiting for the price, for the market to move how it wants to move. Wow, okay. So very nice that we're um seeing the price go into the downside. Fantastic. Hopefully it's going to break that original support of our orb strategy. Although we're not doing orb strategy today, we're doing supply and demand trading. Um, but this seems pretty good. Seems as though the momentum is going in the way that we want it to. What I could possibly do is just start bringing down my stop loss. So that would start giving me guarantees of profit, um, which is certainly what I want to achieve. Um, but yeah, it's going to be hard to break this level of resistance. We want it to break below that level of resistance, um, with a full body candle, hopefully. But I don't see that happening at the moment. You see, there's a lot of pressure to push up into the upside. This is a very key support level. What I'm doing is trying to measure where the price may bounce back to. What I'm trying to do is put a trend line above two these two highs, um, and try and measure where, okay, if it bounces back and if it doesn't break this level, this factual high, then where would that price likely bounce back to? So it might bounce back to around about here before, and then finally pushing through our TP. That's what I'm hoping for. Um, yeah, it seems as though the price is struggling at this level. Um, Very frustrating. Look at that. It's a big bounce back level. So it's clearly a key support zone for this price. Mm. So as I said before, although none of the fractal highs or lows have been broken, um, a fair value gap, this is what a fair value gap will look like. You see here, just marked it out there for you. So fair value gap would look something like this is an example of what a fair value gap would look like, right? So you've got the let me try and zoom in more. Here we go. You see? So you've got the lowest point here and you have the highest point here. And so if I mark that out, you would see that this would be that gap where the price should retrace back to, being that fair value. Like that would be the fairest value for that price at this time. Because there was such a sharp push into the downside, the price needs some time to readjust itself, and will likely return to this price point. That's a fair value gap. I mean, I'm not saying it's a validated gap. I'm just explaining how that would look and where you would mark a fair value gap. How would you interpret it? Oh, let's go. Come on. Go further. Go down. Go. Gosh. Really trying to push past this fractal low. It's very, very frustrating. This is what we want to break. This is what we want to break. With a full body break, this is what we want to, this is where we're aiming for. Okay. This very frustrating support line that it just won't cross. If it crosses this line, then we should be home free, smashing through our TP. But it's not. It keeps testing this level, this price point. You can see, hold on, I'll drop to go out to a 15-minute frame, and you can see, boom, boom, boom. It just doesn't want to go past these factual lows. Very frustrating, very, very frustrating. So we have to keep waiting. If it jumps back up, so likely we might see it jump back up to around about here, where I've just put that fair value gap, that example. If we see it being pushed back up into here and it returns back to this level and it fails to break, we may want to just exit the trade. Personally, yeah, you can see it's starting to retrace. So it's a very key level. It's a very key level of support. If I mean, I could potentially exit here and then just go in for a long to do like a short long up to about where our previous orb, we put our previous orb resistance level. And then once it takes that TP, we go back into a short, but I don't want to be impulsive today. I don't want to do that. I just want to wait and see how this market plays out today. In the future, if I'm feeling a little bit more impulsive, yeah, let's give that a go, but not today. Not today. So we just have to keep waiting. All right, well, we're slowly, finally approaching the take profit. Very, very close, at about 18 pounds. So I want to close this trade around the 20 pound mark. Getting very close at the moment. It's still struggling to break that very, very key support level, as you can see here. Very, very key support level. But luckily we can see the sellers are in power. They're the ones pushing this down. There we go. Almost entering that TP. £19 now. Oh, it's painful. Very, very painful to see this. It's very, very slow. Always waiting. Gosh, at this rate, I want to close it out myself. Yes, red candle. Go. Push, 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 push. Very close to closing. Just going to bring my stop all the way down just on the off chance that a flash buy comes back and pushes the price way out into my stop loss. That would be very frustrating. All right, we're almost there. £19.71. This is usually the case. No, don't reverse. How frustrating if it reverses. Oh dear. This is a really strong resistant support layer. Really, really strong support. Um, might get stopped out at 15 instead. Oh dear. That's right. Push back down into the downside. It was very close to my TP there. Very close. What? We're about £3 away. Um, I think I'll let this one ride out. Enter into my stop loss and take a £15 profit. I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah, see, huge push into the upside, and this is what I was afraid of. You see, so that's why I brought my stop loss down. Okay, I'm gonna close it out at £17. Um, yeah, okay, should have, but maybe I could have waited. I brought my stop loss down. I didn't want to wait too long just for an extra £3, which is an extra what, $5, $6. Overall, up $22 roughly. I'll do the calculation a bit later. But that's pretty good. I think that's okay for today. Um, Before entering into a trade earlier today, I did another trade anyway. And I got about £2 from that. So overall, £19 up. Whereas the target is £20 usually, but I think £19 for the day is still pretty good. Um, I don't want to get greedy. I don't want to try and just enter trades to maximize that profit. I just want to make sure that I'm able to hit a relatively good win rate each time. That's the idea here, minimizing my losses. If I break even, that's fine. If I take profit, fantastic. But certainly just want to make sure I keep my trades in positive and accurate. That's what I'm aiming to do. So supply and demand today, fantastic. I know I played around with the orb. I didn't trade the orb, but I did show you a bit of the orb. It can help. You can see it how a breakout would work. I will do that in the future. Um, but yeah, all in all, I think that was a pretty good day on the London session. Yeah, 17 took £17 on a lot size of about 1 or 0.9. Now, if I took a lot size of about 10, then that's about £170 profit, obviously, or £200 profit within the day. And you do that 5 days a week, you're looking at £4,000 a month from trading, right? So yeah, profit's not huge. It's all about the win rate, and we're just trying to win as much as possible. And eventually, I will put more money toward this. Like I said before many times, potentially become a prop trader, a funded trader, trade someone else's account, and maximize profits that way, which I will do live recording sessions so you guys can see as well how that plays out. So thank you again for watching. It is Friday today, so the Forex markets are closed over the weekend. And well, hopefully I'll see you all on next week, Monday or Tuesday. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.